Hey everyone, Blast here. So I'm back with another Dead by Daylight concept chapter, or at least a chapter concept, or whatever way you want to spin it. And it's of the Blob 1988 remake. So yeah, let's get straight into it. The Blob 1988 is a simple plot. I'm not going to run through the whole thing, but basically it's about a giant, massive blob rolling through a town in Middle America and basically liquefying people, eating them, absorbing them. And this movie was goated, was amazing. When I first seen it as a kid, it scarred me because there is a scene where a little kid dies in the movie and you see him melted. Anyway, it scarred me and it really stuck with me, and I ended up watching the movie again and really loving it. And I decided, well, we got some weird killers in Dead by Daylight. What would what if they had a blob type killer? So here's the way that I see the blob being a chapter in Dead by Daylight. Oh, and by the way, this was I originally watched the movie for it to be a movie review, but I decided just to make it a Dead by Daylight chapter, I guess. Oh well. So I chose Brian Flagg, played by Kevin Dillon in the movie, to be the survivor of the chapter. Brian Flagg, a troublemaking outsider able to comfort fellow survivors and ensure his own safety to avoid grave danger. His first perk, change of heart. Tending to think selfishly often ends up hurting others. In those times, you must fix your mistake. So, whenever you escape a chase, you see the auras of other survivors for 20, 25, 30 seconds. Within the time limit, you're able to heal others 80% faster, and survivors' grunts of pain within 8 meters of you are completely silenced. Brian's second perk, Breakthrough. When trapped, you always scrounge up a way to escape. After you've been hooked twice, you can instantly open a single exit gate, and your aura is revealed to all survivors within 40, 80, 120 meters. The second exit gate will take 5% more time to open. His third perk, Rebel. When you gain the advantage, rub salt in the wound. After stunning or blinding the killer 2 times by any means, the next time you stun or blind the killer, you gain 10% haste for 13, 14, 15 seconds. Now, on to the star of the show here. The killer power is a bit all over the place. This is the most complicated power that I've made for any of my concepts. So please, please, I beg you to bear with me. So, let's get into it and hopefully at least one or two of us understands it. Power, absorption, an otherworldly gelatinous mass that preys on anything and everything unlucky enough to wander in its path. Tier 1. The blob is played in third person, slightly increased movement speed and slightly reduced tear radius. Special attack, lunge. Press the power button during tier 1 to charge up an attack. Once charged, tap the power button again to lunge. When attacking survivors, they become afflicted with the dissolved status effect, and your mass builds up. Mass meter, whatever. Attacking crows also builds up mass, which leads to tier 2. In Tier 2, the blob becomes a normal killer, same size as alien while crawling, basically. The blob loses the lunge attack, but gains the grabber strike ability, similar to Nemesis. Special attack, grabber strike. Press and hold the power button to charge an attack. Once charged, tap the attack button to unleash grabber strike. Hitting a survivor with grabber strike affects the survivor with a dissolved status effect. The dissolved status effect places a 75-second timer on the afflicted survivor. After the first phase, the afflicted survivor will become injured even if uninjured by the blob. If the survivor is hit again, phase 2 afflicts the survivors with the deep wound status effect. If the survivor does not heal within 30 seconds or mend, phase 3 activates and the survivor will be broken until the blob is reverted back to a previous tier, and the survivor will be blinded for 40 seconds. If the survivor continues to stay infected for 60 more seconds, phase 4 activates and the survivor screams, revealing the location, and becomes afflicted by the hemorrhaged status effect. If the blob downs the survivors in past phase 2, the blob gains the ability to Moria a survivor to gain mass. Tier 3. The blob becomes bigger and Grabber Strike gets increased range. Grabber Strike can now break pallets, breakable walls, and infect vaults when vaulted. Not referring to the Grabber Strike, but the blob itself can infect the vaults with the dissolved particles. Tier 4. The blob can only reach this tier by mooring at least, or doing Oh my god, how do you say this? Killing at least 2 survivors. The blob's movement speed is slightly decreased and gains the undetectable status effect. Your terror radius affects the entire map, and every survivor past phase 1 have their auras revealed for 5 seconds every 30 seconds. You lose Grabber's Strike, but gain the ability to break pallets just by walking through them. Special item, Nitrogen Bomb. Nitrogen bombs can be found around the map and be activated. When the blob enters the proximity of a nitrogen bomb, it explodes and slows down the blob for 3 seconds and knocks the blob back to a previous tier of absorption. The blob cannot be returned past tier 2. Once at tier 2, the blob slows down for 6 seconds instead of 3. Once a nitrogen bomb explodes, it takes the entity 30 seconds to craft another. I don't know why the entity crafts it, but just suspension of disbelief, I suppose. Dude, this microphone just makes my voice sound even worse than it normally does. So anyway, in layman's terms, the blob takes elements from Nemesis, Alien, Chucky, Myers, and Demogorgon. The blob uses a smaller tentacle as a main weapon. The basic attack does not apply the dissolved status effects. Don't ask me why. Just go along with it, please. It's supposed to be like a constant back and forth between the survivors. So like just by hiding away and hopefully trying to heal yourself over and over again is not going to help you win the game. You have to actively go after the blob and set off the proximity mines or the bombs. So, and for the blob side, it's a constant choice of should I mori the survivor and gain mass, or should I just hook him? Which tier 4 shouldn't even be like a big problem, because tier 4 is basically a meme and it's supposed to cause hysteria to survivor players. And tier 4 is only activated through power-related moris, not offerings. The dissolved status effect is meant to annoy the survivors and keep them on side objectives. It should force them to activate the nitrogen bombs and take chase to outsmart the blob so they can keep their phases at a manageable level. I already explained that, I don't know why. I have that written down. So, when pulling a survivor out of a locker as a tier 1 blob, the blob instantly tiers up to tier 2, because of course it does. So perks, they actually have a bit more understanding to them. The blob's first perk, Malleable. Things will come to destroy you, but you will not be stopped. You will not be broken. Every time you are stunned, the camera does not move, and for the duration of the stun, you cannot be blind. This effect lingers for 1, 2, 3 seconds. That's kind of funny, because how is the blob going to be blind? Oh, how is Pyramid Head blind? How are the other characters blind? But how would you know what part you're blind? Just, please, just, maybe there's like a half-dissolved skull underneath the blob that you can blind. They could do a lot of ideas with it. Behavior smart, you know. So, the blob's second perk, Corrosive Touch. After kicking a generator, your terror radius is increased by 100%, and the affected generator gains an aura that you and the survivors can see for 45 seconds. If a survivor works on the affected generator while in your terror radius, they become injured and let out a scream. For the next 15, 20, 25 seconds, gain the undetectable status effect. If the affected survivor is down while within the time limit, the 25 second time limit, the generator explodes, losing 20% progress instantly. Corrosive Touch then goes on cooldown for 90 seconds, whether you get them within the time limit or not. If an injured survivor activates Corrosive Touch, they become afflicted by the Deep Wound status effect. Perk 3, Mass Hysteria. So like Hysteria, but like better, I suppose. When all the generators are finished, the survivors scream every 10, 9, 8 seconds and become afflicted by the blindness status effect until the exit gates are opened. This effect lingers for 40 seconds after the gates are opened. Yeah, that perk's kind of meant to tell one of my favorite perks, what is it called? Wake up to go screw itself. Unfortunate. So that's my chapter concept for the blob. Maybe for a map they could use Town Hall at the end of the movie where the blobs like try to break in and eat all the people inside. Yeah, this concept chapter was like the hardest yet and the most challenging, and I think that that's part of the reason why I wanted to do it. I wanted to try to make something make sense in like Dead by Daylight terms. So let me know what you think. Let me know if it's stupid, but at least tell me why you think it's stupid, because I got a comment on my re-upload of the boys concept chapter, and they straight up called something mid. I don't know if they called the video mid, the concept mid, or me myself mid. I don't know what they meant by that. So if you're gonna say something stupid, at least, you know, be a bit more constructive with it. And if it's an insult, at least make it more thought-provoking, please. So let me know what you think about the concept. Yeah, I don't. If you can't tell, I didn't have the intro or this ending part scripted. I just had the perks and the description scripted. So I'm not gonna keep you much longer. So I see you in the next one, I suppose. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.